Hi, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I'm here with the segment of Helpful or Not. This is the very first segment of Helpful or Not that has to do with supplements, diets, food, modalities, everything out there that you use to heal yourself. And I'm going to tell you in my experience whether it was helpful or not. And today we're starting with the big one, conventional medicine. Helpful or not? I just like to put up a big stop sign and a big warning to everybody about doctors, conventional medicine, and the likewise. This is my warning. The warning is for me, it was not helpful, and I'll just say that straight out of the gate. I would say no. No, I would not go that route. If I had a chronic illness, I would not go the conventional medicine route. Now, saying that, I do have a caveat. If I was in an emergency medical situation, if I was having a heart attack, if I just had a stroke, if I got in an accident, a car accident, if I broke my leg, if I broke a bone, if I had any sort of dismemberment to my body, I would go to the hospital immediately. So there is a place for conventional medicine, and I used to subscribe to the conventional medicine model before it failed me. So let's start there. How it helped me, right? How conventional medicine has helped me. In the past, I would, go to the doctor as a child. I would complain of an ailment. The doctor would hand me an antibiotic or do something for me, and magically I would be better in a week or two and on my way. So I always trusted conventional medicine. When I've had several different run-ins. When I was in my 20s and I suffered with anxiety and panic attacks, conventional medicine couldn't help me, and neither could conventional psychiatrists or therapists. So I figured that out on my own. And so something like that, I don't think that you definitely don't need medical conventional, any kind of an anxiety or depressive disorder. I would say absolutely not. Don't go the medical conventional route. When I was in my 30s and I couldn't have children on my own, me and my husband sought help from doctors and fertility medication. And if it wasn't for one of the most renowned fertility doctors in the United States, I would not have my 2 children right now. Because all the fertility doctors gave up on us. Everybody gave up on us. It was likely that we would never, ever have children, even with the help of IVF. And we did search out the top doctor in that field, and lo and behold, we now have 2 beautiful, beautiful children. So had I not gone the conventional medicine route, I would not have my 2 children. I do have parents-in-law, like my mother-in-law suffered from breast cancer at one point in her life, went the conventional medicine route. She's still alive and doing super well. In her mid-70s, and living a great and wonderful life, and has nothing but positive things to say about conventional medicine, going at it the cancer route. I have my own mother who was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, went the conventional medicine route. It absolutely destroyed her health, and she ended up dying at the hands of a brutal chemotherapy and drugs, and just horrific. It was a horrific death. It was a horrific everything. And once again showed me that if I got cancer, I'd most likely, knowing what I know now and watching her deteriorate and have learned all the natural health things that I've learned, probably would not go that route. But I wouldn't blame anybody else who did, because it's very fear-induced when you get cancer. And when fear becomes involved and you're taking advice from people who you are supposed to be able to trust, like doctors and other family members who trust doctors, it's very hard to go against convention. And we often get sucked into these things, and so I wouldn't judge anybody for that. But would I go that route? No, I probably wouldn't go that route, at least not at first. I definitely, no, I wouldn't. So conventional medicine, I think that we need to be very, very careful. And this is from definitely a biased point of view. Conventional medicine did destroy my health completely, 100% completely. The medications were toxic. They were destructive, and they definitely destroyed many parts of my cellular biology, all over, from my mitochondria to my organs to every other part of my body that has taken me years and years and years and years and years. And I'm still left with quite a bit of pain, but as you can see, I have full function in my body. So no, I would not go the conventional medicine route. It's very destructive. It can be very destructive. One other thing that I did want to say about conventional medicine to kick off this helpful or not is one of the things that's the most not helpful about conventional medicine, you know, and I'm aware of all the stories out there where conventional medicine help people, but for somebody who has a chronic illness, this usually isn't an emergency situation where they need emergency medical help. Often people go to their doctors with an ailment that is progressing over time that they complain about, and they want to be and need to be heard. Doctors really have a limited amount of time that they can give their patients, 10 minutes at max, even for, you know, the most severe of cases, before they are ushering you out of the office or referring you to another specialist or another appointment. So you don't get the time. They aren't allowed to get your history in depth in that way. Your emotional attachment to what's happening, what's going on in your life, your lifestyle, your diet, all the other things that may be affecting and contributing to this illness, they're not really digging for, searching for, or able to really understand in that short amount of time ever. And they often can scare patients. They can come off as up here when you're down here, like they know everything and you know nothing about what's happening. They can shake their head at articles that you bring in or things that you've read on the internet, Dr. Google, as they will just, you know, completely, you know, shake their heads. And the thing is that people are more informed than I think doctors give them credit for. People do come with a wealth of knowledge. People have, you know, really read up on their subjects and studies and lots of different opinions when they come in with a certain question or concern for the doctor, and a lot of times they end up getting the brush off. And I think that that is wrong, especially when someone has a chronic disease or a chronic medical condition. It's absolutely wrong to be getting the brush off. First of all, you're not given the amount of time, and then secondly, if you question a doctor, it often results in them getting upset, angry, or not wanting to help you further. I know for myself, there was a lot of mistreatment by doctors, not only in the prescribed medications and the prescribed way to heal, was often wrong, misdiagnosed, and came with severe damage that doctors wash their hands of and almost walk away from and leave you entirely like alone. Not only that, they make you feel guilty. Doctors have used guilt. Doctors have used fear with me. Doctors have used like a superiority complex and looking down on me. You know, they've used a myriad of ways to try to get me to just follow orders and do as they say, which I also think is completely 100% wrong. This is a human being with a complex condition that is physical, mental, spiritual. It's holistic. And so I think it needs to be treated in a holistic manner, right? If I felt out of my car, got crushed and got run over by somebody, I would immediately go to the hospital. That's a very physical thing that you need actual help for. But when we're talking about a chronic condition, anything from fibromyalgia to chronic fatigue syndrome to arthritis to any kind of pain syndrome to any kind of, even diabetes, I would put in that category of a lifestyle disease. You know, often there's cancer becomes a lifestyle disease as opposed to just something that has suddenly befallen you like a medical emergency. And a lot of these things take lifestyle interventions, lifestyle modalities to fix. They're holistic in approach, diet, lifestyle, exercise, different modalities. You definitely have to go into the mind-body healing of it all. You know, a lot of disease starts and ends in the mind and your attachment and all your things that you may be holding on to, feelings and emotions that settle in the body. So there's a lot of things that go into this, and they're not taken into account or even given much, what's the word I'm looking for? Just much consideration by doctors who really hold your life in their hands. And I think it's wrong for them to spend 10 minutes with you, write a script, hand it to you, be on your merry way, and if it doesn't work for you, they sort of wash their hands of you. Or if you have a problem, or if you have a concern, or if you don't agree with them, it's like, bye next. It's a very wrong way to approach patients, and it instills fear in them, and it also instills this way of thinking like they're not strong enough to figure this out on themselves. They need you. They'll never be able to heal on their own. And sometimes doctors will even tell you, you will never get better. You will not heal from this. You will have to manage this the rest of your life. I've been told that so many times, like, this is not going to go away. You'll have to manage it. You have to do this, that, and the other. And if you don't listen to me, then there's nothing I can do to help you. Right? So, and in many cases when they were completely 100% wrong. So, I do have family members who are doctors in other medical professions, and I'm not saying that they're bad people, because they're definitely not bad people. They've been brought up in a system that shows them what they can prescribe, what they can't prescribe, what is the proper protocol, what is not, what is the standard of care, and it's basically crossing I's and crossing T's, dotting I's, and following the procedures in the standard of care, and there's not much room for actual true healing to take place. It's very mechanical, it's very textbook oriented, and it's very driven by pharmaceuticals and pharmaceutical companies and reps, and the industry that funds the money and funnels the money into their teachings and into the whole everything that they can and cannot do to prescribe to help you. And they're very limited in their choices and what they can offer you, and they often buy into the entire system because it's a whole system. And if you're in that line of work, why wouldn't you buy into what you're being taught, what you're being told? And if you don't buy into that, if you question it, if you don't believe it, if you have evidence proving you otherwise, you're often ridiculed by your other doctor friends, by your colleagues. You can sometimes be ostracized. You're not going to be making the money for your family and putting your kids through college. It's not in your best interest to question the system. And when people question it is often through personal experience, when things go wrong, and it's often not until you have a personal experience that opens your eyes on anything to see that this is not the right way, this is not the path. And often there are doctors out there who started in conventional medicine and go into holistic or natural healing because they have a personal reason to. They have their own personal crisis that they're going through, and conventional medicine fails them too, and they see, their eyes are opened. Once you see something, you can never unsee it. And so, that happens, but unfortunately, it's hard. I mean, you don't want to think that anything that you're doing is wrong, and so why would these doctors want to feel that way about what they've chosen to spend their life doing? And they do have a good heart. They want to see people get better, and just weighing on their conscience, if they believed that everything that they were prescribing people was actually hurting them, it would be very, very hard for them to swallow that emotionally, and I just don't think that many of them could do that. So, conventional medicine, helpful or not? I am going to say helpful, absolutely, under the right conditions. I would not have my children if it had not been for that. My mother-in-law may not be alive had it not been for that. And certain people in critical life-saving situations absolutely need surgery and emergency medical care. However, helpful or not, I am going to give this an absolute not. Conventional medicine is, in the long run, over time, not helpful psychologically, mentally, spiritually, or physically for a chronic illness of any kind, a bodily chronic illness, nor is it helpful for a mental illness. So a physical or a mental chronic illness, I would advise against conventional medicine. especially if it hasn't worked for you yet, and especially if you have any kind of inclination or feeling or experience that has actually hurt you or set you back in any way. I would trust and follow that instinct. So again, I'm not saying don't trust doctors. I am saying do your research, but you often will get more help, more natural, better help, that with less risk, less side effects, and the ability to actually heal and cure what ails you, as opposed to just put a band-aid on it with medications and things prescribed by the doctor that isn't actually healing you. If you really want to heal from the inside out, you need to do this in a holistic way, and unfortunately that does not include conventional medicine, for the most part. It may be a spike in the wheel for you, but it's not what's going to heal you. It can be a spike in the great big long wheel of everything else: diet, lifestyle. Maybe you're using some conventional medicine, you have holistic medicine, body work, emotional, spiritual work, you're doing everything, right? So, helpful or not, that's a big no from me. I was injured personally by it, and there's definitely better ways to heal out there that are more holistic and are actually going to cure you and heal you from your condition rather than just put a band-aid over it. I hope this video has been helpful.